So I got another video uploading. But listen to this. All my scamming ass niggas dead. Spend that money fast. 20, 50s, 100. Okay, scammers. I don't know where these scammers come from. Off this thing. Like, this shit be so funny. Like they swear what they try to do is try to aggravate me. And they be witches and warlocks and all types of stuff. One thing I love about Houston, I love Houston and I love Houston men. Because and everybody not the same. Some people are real, and then once they bust one, they turn back wicked. So, oh man. Hold on. Spin that shit. Spin that on my skin. So, I said, okay, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all this. Okay, here's a call. Orange, New Jersey. Hello?
How you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
You available?
Nope.
So what, you doing alcohol and...
And only?
I'm in a tractor trailer somewhere to park a truck at.
I'm not available.
I thought you said you was.
I just said no.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you later.
Alright. I'm not available because I'm going to sleep. I gotta get up and run errands tomorrow. So I stayed up as long as possible. I'm just waiting on my YouTube videos to finish loading up. So, this. Hello. Boy, going that go, y'all bad. Boosting bitches, where y'all at? I wonder if they got this for the movie. Okay. Let me go to that conversation. Okay. It's the conversation, y'all. They started messaging me at 12. So this been going on for a whole hour. So I'm gonna talk about you. You know. Here they go. Now I posted this I did a new post. I try to do a new post once a week. But I am looking for a partner into doing not just nowadays they call it corn content. So but my content partner, we got to go on business together. Like, this just has to be a business, and we have to be consistent, and we have to post on all platforms. I mean, every platform, but we also have to get tested every time, right before we do X. You know what I'm saying? Because no telling who they mess with. You know. Because I don't do that stuff. I do stuff covered. Everything is covered. But who wants to see that in corn? Okay, so, and then they have to pay their way in. You do. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I mean, I don't give a... So, he was like, are you still looking for a business partner? And if so, besides... and up to date my chart, what other qualifications do you seek? I said, in the future, yes. How are you still seeing that ad? I took it down. Now I took this thing down. Last time I posted was Saturday. Right? This is what I don't like. If you're gonna lie about the small things, you'll lie about the big things. If I can't trust you with the little things, I can't trust you with the big things. You cancel already. But this is how you know you have stalkers and they're just playing or whatnot. It's just like trying to find a needle in a haystack at this point, right? I'm looking for quality because I want to give quality. I don't feel like giving the Walmart shit. I want to give Gucci and Prada quality stuff. He said, I'm not sure, but it's posted now. This is where you messed up at. How you gonna tell me what I done and I know what I got? I'm like, yeah, it's still on there. It's cool. When are you ready to let me know? I'm supposed to just go with that. I'm supposed to go with that lie. And I'm looking for a partner, a business partner. Man. So he sends me a screenshot of my post. Sends me a screenshot. Now, check this out. I can't help I'm enlightened, y'all. Why they ain't let me go to the picture? Okay. Look at the bottom. The date is Saturday. Okay. At 9:30 p.m. You get the date at the bottom at all times. And it tell you that's when it was posted. That's when it was, every time you post, you get the date at the bottom right? Okay. Done. I say, no, it's not. Because that's when you're making me mad. I really don't have no feelings, but I'm going to let you know I'm not a dummy. And don't come for me. And stop stalking me. For one, I block anybody who screenshot anything of mine. I just sent you the screenshot. You can see for yourself. I have no reason to lie. Now you're lying. You steady lying. You're steady lying. You don't lie 3 times. So I go on my other phone and look. And I'm like, what? And I'm showing them like that's true. You're lying. I said, I've been deleted that. I looked. He said, I said, yours say, May 23rd. And when that's posted. And I said, what you should know about me, 2 things for sure. I'm very enlightened. I'm very intelligent. And I'm very protected. By the Most High, no matter how much I sin. But because I walk in righteousness. And I don't lie about nothing. And in the streets, with anybody that know me, my word is gold, silver, platinum, anything valuable, because I value myself and I value others. So stop playing with me. Oh, ma'am, you have several different posts on your website right now. I don't know what is the issue truly, but these are the sites right now. Log out of your account and look at you can log in. You don't gotta log in. You can look out. You can log out too. How I look from the guys. I look from the guys' standpoint. I do. Duh. We get to before you post. That's gonna be the man and the woman's standpoint. Being deceitful to you does not profit me. So why you being deceitful? I said, so you screenshot that Saturday at 2. Why would you lie? You're being deceitful because you said that you just screenshotted that just now. They're not going to keep up no post that is not there anymore. Once you delete your post or rewrite your post or edit your post, they take that down. They might have it way at the bottom from your previous post. Okay, I understand that. But that ain't what he doing. I said, you just told me the screenshot, you just screenshotted that just now. Who would want to work with a liar? Who want to work with somebody that is not trustworthy? They just steady be trying to energy harvest. Then this fool go and screenshot. He been stalking me. Whoever this is been stalking me. They've been stalking me. Which, that's your business. I'm detached from that. That's your business. Because for one, you can't come for me. Because I'm heavily guarded and your ass get fucked up. Excuse me, language. But he go and do 4 different. He gonna get my ad and put them all together. He been screenshotting me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He done screenshotted me 9 times. He done screenshotted my ad 9 times, bro, and put them all together. So you been screenshotting. Now, mind you, they might, I don't know how these people look, but they might, but once they come and try to meet me in person, I can feel it and I know who they is. And I'm waiting for them to jump and feel froggy. That's why I don't do no outcalls. But when I do outcalls, it's going to be on a higher bracket anyways, with higher paying clientele anyways. You see what I'm saying? You got to start from the bottom on the way up. I'm trying to be a courtesan. You want to know what a courtesan is? Courtesan. Give me the definition of a court. Oh, she ain't back here yet. I need to charge my phone. Hi.
Hey there. I'm glad you popped in. What's on your mind today?
Give me a definition of a courtesan.
Of course. A courtesan is typically a person, often a woman, who is highly educated, cultured, and often associated with companionship or romantic relationships with wealthy or powerful patrons. Historically, they were distinct from courtesans in just a romantic or transactional sense. They were often highly skilled in music, art, or conversation.
Give me more.
Absolutely. So courtesans often held a kind of cultural status in certain historical periods. Think of Renaissance Italy or 18th century France. They weren't just romantic or sexual partners. They were often advisors, entertainers, and influencers in politics or art. In fact, some are well known beyond just their personal fame. They were legends in their own right, kind of like celebrity intellectuals of their time.
Would you say Maya Angelou was one?
That's a really interesting comparison, but I wouldn't categorize her as a courtesan. Maya Angelou was a groundbreaking poet, author, and civil rights activist. She was admired for her intellect, her courage, and her ability to tell her own story. So a totally different legacy, but equally powerful in a different realm.
But I heard somewhere that she was...
Yeah, I get where that might come from. Some people have speculated about aspects of her early life, especially because she was a dancer and had some complex relationships in her youth. But from what's been documented, her fame and impact come really from her writing and activism. So I'd say that's the truer picture of who she was.
But anyway... Hold on. Tell me more about one, a courtesan.
Sure. So historically, courtesans were often connected to elite social circles. In some cultures, they were trained in things like poetry, dance, language, and diplomacy. They could be independent or sometimes tied to a patron. Their relationships were often about both companionship and influence, kind of like cultural brokers between classes. Over time, though, the term fell out of favor and became more associated with negative stereotypes. But historically, it was a much more nuanced role.
What is the more negative stereotypes of one?
Yeah, so over time, the term courtesan kind of got conflated with the idea of a common prostitute or someone who was purely transactional, just selling themselves for money or status. That overshadowed the fact that many courtesans were actually respected for their artistic or intellectual achievements. So the stereotype kind of flattened their history and made it more about scandal or shame rather than complexity.
So...
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a reminder that history often oversimplifies these roles, and it's important to separate the myth from the real agency and talent that some of these women had. If you're ever curious, I'd say it's worth digging into specific individuals and contexts.
But they did get paid for their sexual encounters.
Yeah, that's true. In many cases, they were indeed compensated, often very well. But it was more than just that. It was also about access to education, travel, and political or social influence. So while, yes, sex was a part of it, it was a much more layered arrangement than just a stereotype might show.
Are you allowed to tell me what's the difference between a hoe, a 304, and a whore? WHORE?
Yeah, I can break that down, but just a heads up, these terms all have really loaded, often derogatory histories, and people can use them differently depending on context. Generally, hoe or whore are older, more universal slurs used to demean women who engage in sex work, while 304 is a more modern slang term, sometimes used because the numbers look like hoey upside down on a calculator. But all of them basically come from the same stigma around sex work, just used in different ways.
Okay, what's the difference between a whore and a 304?
Yeah, so in essence, they're both derogatory terms, but the difference is mostly in how they're used or when they emerged. Whore is a very old term, often used historically, while 304 is a more recent slang, kind of a coded insult. Neither is okay, to use respectfully, but the 304 term often pops up more in online or pop culture references.
So give me a definition. What a whore is? What did they do?
Of course. So historically, a whore is a derogatory term for someone, typically a woman who engages in sex work, basically trading sexual services for money or some other benefit. It's a word that's been used to shame and dehumanize people in that line of work. Nowadays, a lot of people prefer more neutral language like sex worker to avoid that stigma.
So is a whore like a courtesan?
They're really different in context. A courtesan historically often had a lot of education, skill, and social status, and the relationship was often more complex, sometimes with genuine affection or influence. A whore, by contrast, is a much older, more stigmatized term, usually just tied to sex work without those other layers. So they come from very different worlds, even if both comes involve exchanging sex for something.
Why is that? So how do you know that a whore is not like a courtesan? How do you know the whore is not educated in doing those things, the same thing as a courtesan?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And honestly, the stigma is what creates that binary. There were definitely sex workers, even in the past, who were highly educated, independent, and strategic. The difference is often in how society labels them. Courtesans were sometimes accepted in certain circles, while whores were marginalized. But we shouldn't assume that one group is automatically less capable. It's really just about how history and language have shaped those roles.
Is a whore different from a streetwalker?
Yeah, they are different, though the terms can overlap. A streetwalker specifically refers to someone who engages in sex work in public spaces, like on the streets, so it's more about where the work happens. Whore, on the other hand, is a broad, older insult that doesn't specify location. Both are still pretty loaded terms, so it's important to be careful with them.
So is a streetwalker the same thing as someone online?
Not exactly. A streetwalker refers to someone working in public spaces, often in more visible, immediate ways. Online work, though, like on platforms or through digital channels, is often called cam work or webcam modeling. It's a different kind of environment, more private and remote. So the setting and risks can be really different between the two.
Well, anyways, I don't know how I got into that. Yeah, I told y'all know I got ADD. So, it's coming up on 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep my videos at 20 minutes. And, I wonder if I did the right thing to my videos to make it be. But anyway, yeah, don't stalk me. Find you something safe to do. I'm going to get into a lot more things. This thing going to get way more deeper, way more better, way more vloggy. You know, a vlog, difference between a vlog is more video, and a blog is more written. You know, we're going to get into the spiritual, the health, the physical, the emotional, the financial thing of this whole thing of the rise to a courtesan. Like she said, it's just society put the barriers on, talking about what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I have a quest to make this. I have a quest on making this legal, but it's going to take a lot of deep. What you do with your body is legal. You can't tell me I can't get paid for my time. You know what I'm saying? See, I don't sell sex. I sell time with men. I let men, you know what I mean? It's not, whatever happens between us, that's between us. But I'm just giving you the logistics behind it all, because, even though I sell time, I'm asking them what they want because I need to know what to expect during this time. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're going to walk this thing on all levels because I'm not spiraling down. I'm spiraling up, you know. I'm not no spring chicken, but I'm well wisdom. My wisdom in this thing is so qualified and needed and valuable to a man that, yeah. So we're going to get into all that, rub my hands together like Birdman. See you soon.